Hello there, it's Paul here and welcome along everyone. This video I'm going to do a review on the Makita. It's a TM300C multi-tool. Now this is the mains powered version, so it's not the battery one. You can buy a bare bones battery one, and obviously with all the Makita tools, as far as I'm aware, the batteries are interchangeable between devices. So if you've already got several Makita battery tools, you might want to look at the battery option. First thing you'll notice, it's a fairly plain box. At the end of the day, you're buying the tool, not for the box. But opening the box, all as you've got in here really is your actual multi-tool with the lead. There's an Allen key also attached to it for where you put your blades on and off, and an instruction manual. That is all you get. Now the instructions are fairly minimal, but they do cover everything you need, so they are actually fairly good. There's two real big things that you notice when you first get this product. First of all, you've got no attachments on it whatsoever. So if you're a first time user of one of these, you've got to look at what blades or attachments that you want to go on the tool. I actually went on eBay. I basically bought this small box of 100 pieces of tools, which cost me £17, and I'll show you those in a few minutes. Now the other thing I really noticed, which I really liked about this, was look at all this cable. It's absolutely a really long cable. And to give you an idea of the length here, so I mean we're probably talking 1 meter there, 2, 3. We're talking probably at least 4 to 5 meters of cable. So there is an awful lot of cable there. First thing on this, really, for the specs wise, weight is about 1.4 kilos, so it's not light, but I suppose the best way to imagine this, if you pick up a large bag of sugar, which is about 1 kilo in weight, it's slightly heavier than that, but because it's a reasonable size, it's fairly well balanced and it holds nicely in the hand. Now my way of thinking is you don't want these too light, because you still want that weight there, because it will cut down on really the vibration that goes through the piece. Then at least the tool that's attached to this is doing what it needs to do, rather than the whole piece shaking about. Now this one comes with a variable speed, and if I switch this on, it's not noisy. So that's on low speed. And it's when you get up to the higher speed, you obviously get the more noise. Adjustment is just simply on the dial on the back here, so you're not going to catch it as you use it, so it's nicely out the way, because you're not really going to want to change the speed as you're going along. It might be just a case that you need to alter the speed up quickly, and you can soon access that with your other hand while you're holding it. Switching on and off is nice and easy, just with a slide switch on there. If you watch my videos, you'll have probably seen the recent project that I did for where I made the flower for my wife. I turned, I think, a piece of mahogany on the lathe. I wanted to cut it off into 3 pieces to use for petals, and the quickest and easiest way to do that was using the multi-tool. Now because this doesn't come with any attachments, I honestly didn't know what I wanted to go out there and buy to start with. Now, not knowing what I was really going to use this for, I did a bit of a search around on eBay, and I come up with a 100 piece set that I could buy. Now this contains all sorts. We've got the things like the standard wood cutting blades, which is what I used in that video. There's various different blades here, which are for things like metal cutting, for scrapers. There's a pad there, hook and loop pad, for putting sandpapers on, which I have a selection of sandpapers there, from which range from I think 80 grit up to 240 grit. I have no idea what some of these are for. I'm guessing that they are for some form of a cutting or abrasive. And I even have another holder to hold smaller pieces of sandpaper as well. And again, there's more and more blades in here for other cutting options as well. Those are all ones for wood. There's things like that, an overall arced blade. So for £17, I think I have a massive selection of different things I need. If you don't use these very often, they can be a little bit fiddly to put the attachments on. Now the first thing, the Allen key on here is really held well in place. So it's only going to be over a long period of time that this weakens and you'd risk the chance of losing your Allen keys. For fitting your attachment, you just basically unscrew the locking nut on here, hopefully not dropping it, and then put your blade on. Now the other thing you have to really remember as well, which way you put your blade on. It will fit on both ways, so again, think of how you want your access. Usually you're going to want the blade out away from the piece. The other thing as well is that your blade will fit round in lots of different orientations, so depending on which way you need to access things again. So there's actually 12 different positions you can fit the blade on. So I will just put that on the top there to start with, straight forwards. So tighten up the screw, and that's how quick and easy it is to fit. Store my Allen key away, clip it in place. It's now ready to use. Now just to give a demonstration of what this is like. Now I've just got the wood blade in there from one I used in one of my projects just recently. And here's an example really of where you can swap the blade around. I stand a risk here of really catching the clamp here if I do this side, so ideally I like the blade so that I could go on that side. So I can just release this off just enough so you can rotate the blade round, set it around where you want, and then just retighten. Now of course how well this handles cutting through materials is down to the blade. This is just really a demonstration of how really the multi-tool handles the task, especially for vibration and things like that. So I've got this set to its lower speed at the moment, which is number 1, and I'll just going to cut through. So just so if I can get I'm just going to change that up a bit. Now I found on there that having this on number 1, the blade wasn't going fast enough to cut through the wood, and what it was doing, it was grabbing more and therefore causing more vibration rather than actually doing the cut. So I will now just try and go down this side just to take off this as a square. And there we go. We just took a piece out there. Admittedly, it wasn't overly thick to go down on that way, but it's gone through nice and quick. Now that was a very quick demonstration of really how easily the actual tool handles going through those sort of situations. I know it was softwood, pallet wood, so you don't really expect much resistance. As far as the tool itself concerned, even when I had it on low speed, what I found was that it was causing more vibration than anything, so that the teeth were probably catching more on the wood rather than cutting it. It was bouncing it about. So again, that's probably one advantage of having the variable speed on a multi-tool, because there will always be situations where it's either going to be running too fast or too slow. If you're going down the sanding option, you really probably don't want it on a high speed, so you want it on a lot lower speed. Whereas with the cutting, you need it on a higher speed, and for that I only had it on half speed, so it was set to number 3 out of 5. Now the one thing from the manual, what I will just quote, is the technical specs on this, and the oscillations per minute, as in the speed, ranges from 6,000 through to right up to 20,000, and that is fully adjustable on that sliding wheel. so you can get it at whatever speed you require. The oscillating angle is 1.6 degrees, so overall a full rotation is 3.2 degrees from one side to the other. The overall length of the tool, 275mm, and the weight they're listing here for the net weight is between 1.4 and 1.5 kilos. Now, hopefully this has been of use to you. As you can see, it's quick and easy to use. It's not too noisy. Obviously the higher you put the speed, the more noise you're going to get, and being a multi-tool, it has a wide variety of uses. But you do need to look at what attachments you want on there, because the tool comes literally with nothing. Thanks a lot for watching.